Jessica Danielle Casebolt started her pageant experience on the small stage of a county fair and soon became a pageant veteran. She competed and earned awards in several Miss Kentucky teen pageants and eventually won the Miss Kentucky pageant. Now she's headed to Las Vegas to compete for Miss America. If crowned Miss America 2013, she will become only the second Miss Kentucky to do so. And many think she has just what it takes to win that crown, myself included. We talk with her today where it all started and she was crowned Miss Kentucky, the Singletary Center for the Arts in Lexington, Kentucky. Well, I'm here with Miss Kentucky. I get this wonderful opportunity to talk to Jessica Casebolt today, and we're back at the Singletary Center where it all started. And really, this is your first time back, is that right?
This is the first time I've been in here since the crowning, and it's really exciting. I still can feel all the energy in here, and it is a little different without the big audience, though.
What age were you when you started pageants?
I actually won Miss Goldenrod in the Ashland area.
Okay.
They do preliminaries all over the state, and most of them are open, so girls can go anywhere and can compete anywhere. But I started in the Miss Kentucky's Outstanding Teen program, which is where I really got introduced to the America system, and that was so much fun, and I made so many friends, and I ended up, my last year I was third runner-up. So I switched over last year, and last year was my first year competing in Miss Kentucky.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, good. And your talent for Miss Kentucky was singing, but I understand you did piano for many years before that.
Exactly. That would always be my normal talent, would be to play the piano. That's what I did at my preliminaries, and that's what I did at Miss Kentucky last year and my last year in teens. So it was kind of fun to switch it up this year, and I think it was kind of a surprise for people because they haven't heard me sing in so long.
Well, clearly it must be pretty good. I haven't heard it either, but you did win, so clearly you must be good. Is that something that have you been singing a lot, but just kind of behind closed doors, or?
Well, I mean, I started when I was just a baby in church plays, and did a lot of singing in church growing up, and through elementary choir and high school choir. So I've always been singing, always. But yeah, we just kind of pulled it out of the woodwork a little bit. I don't usually do it on the big stage.
That was a good strategy. I think you definitely surprised a lot of people with your talent. Well, and tell me a little bit about your platform. You have Heart Health as your platform?
Heart Health Awareness, yeah, I started that several years back, and one of the most fun things I get to do with my platform is I organized a Heart Healthy fashion show in Pikeville, Kentucky. I partnered up with the hospital, with Pikeville Medical Center, and several local businesses like Unique Boutique and Mickey's and Red Room Boutique and Maurice's, and they brought all of their red clothes to the hospital, and we had a big fashion show, which, there aren't many fashion shows in Pikeville, so that was a really fun way to spread heart health awareness and to do it in definitely a fun way.
Tell me a little bit about Pikeville, your return back after you had the crown. I know the city was just going crazy. There were parades, and
that was probably the memory that I will never forget from this year's Miss Kentucky is the huge welcome home that I received. And for years and years, Pike County and the city of Pikeville and the businesses there and the people there have been so supportive. Definitely, without a doubt, couldn't have done what I've done without them. So to be able to go home and have them there once again, just cheering me on and excited to see me. And Main Street Live was my first appearance, so I came into town and they rode me in a truck with the sirens going, and everybody was clapping and so excited, and they presented me with a key to the city, and they had a resolution, so I'll be in the history of Pikeville forever. So it's so exciting.
I bet your parents must be thrilled.
Oh my goodness, probably my little brother more than anything. This has just been awesome. He's my very best friend. We're only about a year apart, so he's been with me. He's been the official luggage carrier of Miss Kentucky, but so much more than that too.
Right.
So it's been awesome.
Oh, well, that's so sweet. It definitely takes a lot of support in a situation like that from friends and family and your city, and that's wonderful. So when you go to compete as Miss Kentucky in the Miss America pageant, tell me a little bit about what you're just expecting to find there, and just kind of, I don't know, your excitement and some of your plans.
Oh my goodness, at Miss America, I'm expecting some big competition, and I know, you know, that's the best of the best from all around the country. So I'm expecting, you know, to have to give it my all and prepare as hard as I can so that when I do get to Miss America, I'll really be able to compete with, you know, the rest of the contestants from across the country. And hopefully we can expect a crown. We want to bring it back to Kentucky.
That's right.
Heather French was the last one in 2000, the only one from Kentucky to become Miss America. So,
Right.
so that's the goal.
Okay, well, good. Well, tell me a little bit about being Miss Kentucky and just kind of what that means and really what that means to you to really be a representative of our state.
That's really just sinking in. Oh my goodness. It's been a whirlwind so far, but it's such an honor to be able to represent the state of Kentucky and all the people here. I'm so just proud to represent these people because, you know, this is where born in Kentucky, raised in Kentucky. This is me right here. So it's such an honor, and it's really a blessing to be able to, you know, wherever I go, know that I've got the whole state of Kentucky behind me.
Right. That's wonderful. Well, and you did some things with Kentucky Proud as well, just their kind of marketing campaign to go local and to kind of support the local movement. Tell me a little bit about that.
Exactly, that is the job of Miss Kentucky, is to promote Kentucky Proud, and I'll once school starts, I'll be making lots of visits to the schools to help promote that message to buy local and keep your money in Kentucky.
That's right. Well, what would be some advice that you would tell to girls that are kind of watching, that are maybe excited about being in a pageant and excited about maybe following in your footsteps one day? Would you have any words of wisdom?
I think probably the best advice that I could give to these girls would be, you want to win as you. You don't want to win and be Miss Kentucky as anybody else. So as you compete and as you prepare, make sure that you stay true to who you are. That applies to the way you would answer an interview question, and that applies to your shoes. You know, you wear the shoes that you like and that you feel comfortable in, and just make sure that you don't lose your identity.
That's great advice, because when you win, you want to win for being you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, good. Well, I'm ready for my lesson.
Okay, great.
Throughout the past several years, Jessica's become an experienced model. She has graced the covers of magazines and runway shows throughout the country. Her beauty and her brains, she is in the prestigious Oxford Honors Program at Georgetown College, is only matched by her skill. I get the opportunity to have a one-on-one runway lesson with the reigning Miss Kentucky. I just hope she doesn't run away. Well, we got to spend time with the illuminating Jessica Casebolt, and now it's time to see her locally made dress, which just so happens to be made by pageant royalty. Let's go check it out. She is the only Kentuckian to win the Miss America pageant. In the year 2000, Heather French Henry competed in the Miss America pageant as Miss Kentucky and won. Her platform centered on veteran issues, and she went on to help enact the Heather French Henry Homeless Veterans Assistance Act in Congress. Although she is still very much involved with veterans, she also devotes much of her time to her other passion, fashion. She has a master's in fashion design and is helping future generations of pageant hopefuls with her one-of-a-kind couture gowns. In addition to offering her expertise in pattern making, draping, and construction, she also consults with each client on the different areas within the pageant, such as interview, stage presence, and talent. One such client is the current Miss Kentucky, Jessica Casebolt, who is well on her way to try and follow in Heather's footsteps. Well, I'm here with Heather French Henry, and we are in your office. First of all, you get a lot of beautiful light in here, but I can tell This office really says a lot. It says, I'm involved in anything and everything. I mean, it's just, you have so much on your plate.
It probably says I'm involved in too much, actually.
No.
I don't know if they say a clean desk promotes a clean mind or a chaotic space creates a chaotic mind. I'm not sure which is true.
Well, first let's start with you won Miss America. You're the only Kentuckian to do so. I mean, you still get to kind of wear that badge, and I'm sure you're so proud of that accomplishment.
It's amazing. Still 13 years, this will be my 13th year, that I'm still doing appearances as a Miss America, and people still call and they still want autographs and pictures. It's amazing that it's a lifelong responsibility, and I'm not quite sure when you are crowned you fully understand that, but it's like a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Right.
Once a Miss America, always a Miss America. Yes.
Well, it certainly helped some of the platforms and some of the passions and interests that you have being a Miss America. I mean, you've been able to start a foundation for veterans.
I have. Miss America afforded me to do so much. I established the Heather French Foundation for Veterans during my Miss America year off of the work I was doing for my official platform as Miss America for Veterans Initiatives, and then it paid for all of my undergraduate and master's, which was in fashion design. So after a whirlwind tour of politics for a few years, I got back into fashion. I finished my master's immediately after Miss America, which was very important. I only had about a year to go, but changed my thesis totally, did a 360-degree turnaround, finished that, and was then able to start my business. And one of my friends who's a former Miss Kentucky, Carrie Mitchell, she said, no fear, just do it. And some days I praise her and some days maybe not so much. But it's an interesting life when you're trying to combine something that's seemingly superficial like evening wear to something that's so substantive like veterans issues.
Mm-hmm. Well, you definitely run the gamut. You've got all of that, and you enacted something in Congress. I mean, you have a
bill.
A
That's
bill.
Right, absolutely. And they still refer to it as Heather's Bill.
Right.
It was the Heather French Henry Homeless Veterans Assistance Act of 2001. And what that did and what was so important is it promoted female homeless veterans, that discussion. And that's the first time in history that the United States Congress and Senate had really talked about that, and society had even considered that there was a homeless female veteran.
Right.
Female veterans have a hard enough time as it is identifying themselves as veterans, but to be homeless, and most of them have children. So it was a very important piece of legislation. And people don't realize that as Miss America, you get to do some very hard work and some very real substantive work. It's not just about the parades and donning the crown, to wave. Just like any president, you want to leave a legacy, and I hope that the legacy I've left stands the test of time.
Absolutely. You are helping the current Miss Kentucky, Jessica Casebolt.
Yes, Jessica is very dear to us. Jessica has been modeling for me for about 5 years now, since the start of my business. She's been our cover Frenchie model.
I saw her on the website, so cute.
Absolutely. So I've seen her in transition from just this really shy young girl who started modeling, and then we got her a little more involved in the Miss America Outstanding Teen program through Miss Kentucky. And then to get her on into Miss Kentucky, it just has been almost like a parent watching your child grow, even though I'm not old enough for Jessica to be my daughter, however. But being able to see a young woman just come full circle from this shy little thing and blossom into this magnificent young woman is certainly something I'm very proud of. It's also great that I've been able to work with Jessica outside of pageant. So I've been able to get to know what her personality has been. She's borrowed gowns from me forever for her pageants. So when Miss Kentucky rolled around last year, she used my gowns. And then this year, we actually made her gown. We do all of our one-of-a-kind gowns here in the studio.
Right, it's made in Kentucky.
Yes, absolutely.
That's wonderful.
And I myself handmade her gown. And then this year for Miss America, we'll be doing the same.
I hear we might get a little sneak peek and maybe a little embellishing.
I might let you do a little, just so you feel like you have a little ownership over her Miss America gown.
That'd be nice. Well, I'm ready to go check it out.
Excellent. Let's go.
One step in Heather French Henry's workroom, and you will see breathtaking dresses in various stages of completion. It is evident that she is highly skilled and awarded for her myriad of work projects. Among the tools for her trade, you will also see her other talent, art. Even her sketches are lovely. One dress that caught my eye was the one Miss Kentucky 2011 wore for her talent gown at the Miss America competition. Ann Blair Thornton played the piano for her talent, and this dress was perfectly designed for the task. Seeing this exquisite gown piqued my interest in the current Miss Kentucky's gown for the Miss America pageant. I may get to take a part in its creation. So excited.
Okay, so you're going to have a piece of vested interest in her Miss America gown.
Jessica, I'm already a fan, and now I'm a bigger one.
Excellent. So this is the stones that are going to be on here. There's going to be about 3,000 hot fix Swarovski crystals on the bottom of her dress alone.
Wow.
And so this little handy tool is to help heat up the glue on the back of the Swarovski crystal, so then it adheses to the fabric.
Okay.
And so what you're going to do is we've set your stone here.
Okay.
You're going to take this nice hot tool and sit straight down on top of it.
Okay.
Okay. And then you're going to hold it for about 30 seconds generally, and the smaller the stone, the quicker it heats up. And then once you let it up, go ahead and let that up, and then it's going to be adhesed to her dress. So there you go.
That's a great way to, I mean, I really was picturing like glue everywhere, just like a scene out of Psycho. I've ruined the dress. Like, this really makes it easy.
It does. It does take quite a while though, I will say. And
oh, well, yeah, labor intensive.
Yeah, I mean, you're just constantly bending over doing this, and for 3,000 stones, I mean, it's a lot of heat. What
a treat to be able to be a part of Miss Kentucky's gown at the Miss America pageant. I only did a very small speck compared to the work Heather is doing to complete this look. Although Jessica Casebolt's gown design is top secret, I did get to see a portion of it, and from what I can tell, it is going to be a real showstopper. Heather French Henry continues to have an innovative approach to her pageant gowns, and this one will be sure to garner attention. Okay, so as if, creating a foundation, winning Miss America, being a fashion designer, enacting a bill in Congress, having a
a It's exhausting.
I mean,
isn't it?
you also are an artist.
What do you do? It's a long story. Art is my first love. It is something, everyone in my family is an artist or a musician, and I grew up with a father and mother who both drew. So it really was predestined that I was going to do something in the art realm. I did not know growing up, though, that I was going to be an illustrator and an author of a children's book. But it was a great learning process for me. There's 32 illustrations per book. I did all 5 books in the series within a short amount of time, so I needed a medium that was going to work fast for me. And as a fashion designer, we constantly use very expensive Tria or Pantone markers. They're like $4 a piece, but the colors are very saturated.
Sure.
They stay wet so you can blend the colors, and we use marker paper. So for me, even though I love watercolor, I thought if I have to do it fast, let's use markers. So first book was Veterans Day. That one has sold out nationwide, so we're raising money to reprint it. We have Flag Day, 4th of July, where they learn about the Declaration of Independence. We have Claire's Magic Shoes, where they learn about volunteerism, and Flying Away, they learn about aviation.
When you go to the Heather French Henry showroom, you'll not only see pageant gowns, but you'll also get to see her prom and cocktail lines. Her prom line, Frenchie, showcases fun and edgy gowns. Her cocktail line, Heather French Henry Collection, has some real standout dresses that are perfect for derby and other special events. I am awaiting the need for my next occasion dress so I can make a stop by the showroom. She even added loads of fun ready-to-wear and accessories for your total shopping experience. The very best part of this, though, for me, was being able to talk to this very gracious and beautiful Miss America, who also happens to share. What a treat to try on her crown and pretend to be a beauty queen. Although I'll never get to live out my little girl's inner dream of actually winning a crown for myself, I did get to see some beautiful gowns today that would make any fairy tale princess swoon. And I got to meet a real live Miss America. Be sure to check out Heather French Henry's gowns at missamerica2000.com. Once you try one on, you'll be sure to be ready to give your iconic hand wave. Although we were unsuccessful at coordinating schedules to get an interview with Chandler Lawson, I could not do a special on Miss America hopefuls without including another standout in our region, Miss Tennessee. Third time's a charm for Chandler Lawson. After 3 attempts, she was finally awarded the honor of being called Miss Tennessee. Chandler is a Tullahoma native and was awarded the Miss America Organization State Community Service Award for her charity work. Chandler is the founder of a nonprofit charity called 5 Loaves for Kids. She said what began as a desire to help a few elementary children have food for the weekend grew to feeding more than 300 elementary and middle school children. This program puts food in weekend backpacks for students who would otherwise have little access to food. It is her heart for kids, stunning good looks, and brains — she just so happened to graduate summa cum laude from UTC — that makes this beauty queen one to watch.